and welcome to the custodian walkthrough for the Safe People Registry. So this is the page that you come onto when you first start. And one of the things you might want to do is add team members. You can add members to your team. You can give them 2 levels of access on the system. You can give them admin powers, which is what this current user persona has, who can change the configuration of the system, or you can just give them approver powers so they can log on and then do the active day-to-day of validating organizations or users. The first thing you'll set up if you're new is your configuration. So we have a few key things that are important for custodians to try and make the validation process easier. We have automated flags, which look for specific pieces of information in an organization or user profile, and essentially gives a pass-fail. Have they done their identity verification? Are they located in a country with UK equivalent laws? Have they been affiliated? And so you can turn these on or off for whatever is important for you. And we can do the same thing at the organization level. We can turn these flags on or off to whatever is important for you. You then have a much more human decision. So the manual checks is building your own personalized checklist for you and your team that is looking at the human decisions that are made when looking at a user or organization profile. So for example, has the mandatory training been completed? Has the organization confirmed the user? You can add whatever you want here and customize it as you wish. Does their background match the project that they're working on? For example, looking at their CV could be part of your process. So this is where you're wanting a human decision. And you can do the same thing at the organization level. Is the organization aligned with the SD network? Will they be able to meet costs? Do they have a background of doing projects prior to this? Or are they completely new? Like you can add in your own personalized questions here for you and your team. Another thing we'll point out is webhooks. So we have a number of different triggers, and we're actually expanding this as well, so that you can set up so that when specific actions happen in the project, you can get information sent to yourselves as well. So another thing that could be very much of interest. And we have some benefits for people who also have a gateway account, if that is appropriate for the data custodian as well, so that project information or data use information can actually be synced in both places is the goal. The next thing you might do is you'll say, we've got this amazing data access request come in, so we're going to set up a project. So from the custodian point of view, we have this information about a given project set across these 5 safes. And so you can add in essentially as much or as little information as you like. An ID, a customizable ID, and the name of the project are required. The start date is also required. Other than that, it's up to you how much to add. We obviously recommend add as much as you can for the potential of turning this into a data use register and for your own transparency and best practice. But again, it's over to you. We also have sponsorship where that might be relevant for different custodians. And we are in a test site, which is why some of these drop downs look a bit nuts. Right, so we can add information to Safe Project, we can add safe data information, safe settings, safe outputs, and of course we are the Safe People Registry, so this is probably the most important to you. So here's where you can add new members. You can say, we've already added Dan. Maybe we're interested in Sigourney Weaver. She's going to be a data analyst on the project. Bill Murray's definitely an important member of this team, so we can add him as well. You can look through our user database here. You can also invite people to make a user account and select the organization they're a part of. If the organization's not on the system, you can also invite the organization onto the account. Take your best shot at the email address of an appropriate person who could manage the organization account. The email will go to them from our system, and that can get forwarded along to the right person. Right. We can then go, once we've added those people, until they have, so this person has been invited, they've not actually made an account on the system, so we can't really interact with them because they need to come along and make a profile and verify their email. The people we can interact with on our fancy Kanban board are these individuals. So they have had to make an account. So let's imagine that I have not already validated this fantastic Ghostbuster. I can't do that because he's already been validated. Which is the system and working. What you can do is you click on an individual and you'll go through and you can see all the information about their profile. So you can see their identity information, you can see whether they did the passport check, you can see the training information, you can download their CV if they've uploaded their CV, you can see if they've ticked whether they're an accredited researcher or not. You can see their other affiliations they have and whether they've confirmed them or not, whether the organization's on the system or not. And you can also, you set up those automated flags earlier, you get those pass-fail from the automated flags. This user has done their identity verification, but they're not yet affiliated, or whatever this happens to be. Or yes, or whatever those flags happen to be. You also get a history of your own interactions with that user. So this is a test user, and we sort of automatically put their information onto the site. So it's always comes up a little bit weird because they're not an actual human doing this. But nevertheless, you can see the interactions, like when you change the status of one of these checks, when you change the status of them on the validation, when they've created the account, which in this case was fake. So you can see all of those interactions. You can also see any comments that you might make when you're doing the validation process. The way this checklist looks over here is, again, you can use this as much or as little as you want. You can pass someone, you can add a comment, you can say, no, they haven't, or whatever you wish there. You can just skip one altogether, and then ultimately you have the power of changing the validation status. So we're going to say that this person has left project. You can also add comments. Oh, there you go. Great. Yeah, we'll leave that because I added a comment but didn't actually change anything. You can do everything I just showed you for the user. You can also do it on organization level, right? So once the organization is on the system, you get them here. You can click on an organization. You can see all of their users. You can see their contact details, digital identifiers. You have contact information for either the person managing their account or an email that's around managing the account. Sector size, you can look at their data security, you can check their IDs, you can download their certificates, and then also you get to see the pass-fail of those automated flags that you set up to begin with. And ultimately, again, you get this checklist here where you can add comments, you can take away comments, you can fail them. And then ultimately, you can decide whether or not to validate them. Brill. And so that is how the custodian flow works on the Safe People Registry.